Oh, Daniel, what that dang dang hang God, Daniel, Daniel. Oh, what that dang dang. This is the Black Pot, aka Cuckoo Show, them where we speak truth to power. Now, here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we'd only just criticize to build. We are in the service of God and country, and this is where the truth is very eminent. And from the news reel, we keep it real. Now, the very first story I'm taking today is coming from Peace FM Online, and it says, Galamsey report. What is the big deal? Even criminals are entitled to a lawyer. Kwesi Pratt defends Gabi, and I read it. Now, seasoned journalist Kwesi Pratt Jr. has mounted defense for Gabi Asari Ochredakun, a lawyer and a prominent member of the ruling New Patriotic Party NPP, regarding the mention of his name in Professor Frimpong Boateng's report, indicating some officials of the governing party engaging in illegal mining, and that's Galamsey. Frimpong Boateng in his report said, we are ready to dislodge, in fact, we were ready to dislodge imperial heritage from Krobo Forest when Mr. Gabi Asari Ochredakun called to inform me that he was the lawyer for Heritage Imperial Limited, a company that was destroying the Krobo and Prama forest reserves, and in the process had also polluted and diverted the course of the river of Fing, as can be seen in the satellite images below. I informed the president about the behavior of Mr. Gabi Asari Ochredakun, and he promised to deal with it. But to Kwesi Pratt, there is nothing wrong with Mr. Gabi Ochredakun being a counsel for Heritage Imperial Limited, which the report has accused of destroying forest reserves as a result of their Galamsey activities. You see, Kwesi Pratt is a man I love and I respect so much. When he speaks, nobody speaks, especially me. I do not feel comfortable speaking when Kwesi Pratt Jr. speaks. But hear me now. Let me give you my version of this. I have a problem with lawyers who know that this is a criminal. They know. The criminals confess to them that they actually did the crime. And yet lawyers go and stand before the lawyer seeking to set free these hardened criminals. What is the difference between these lawyers and Satan? What is the difference between these lawyers and Satan? Now you know that this is a criminal. He has confessed to you, because most lawyers will tell you, hey, listen, tell me the truth and let me do the lying. I know several lawyers who have told me this, and it has become almost a mantra. Every lawyer would want the criminal to tell them the truth. And when they open up and tell them, yes, I murdered, I killed, I stole, in fact, I committed arson, you'll see the lawyer hearing all this. He will go to court and deny every little thing that this criminal has said. You and Satan, who is the real Satan? I have a problem with this law profession or legal profession that seeks to have lawyers for people who are known criminals. I have a problem. Now, I will respect a lawyer who would go in and say, okay, my client has confessed to me that he is a criminal, that he did A, B, C, D, and D. I'm bringing him here because he has spoken the truth, and I need him to get the minimum punishment that the law could give. Have mercy on him. I have respect for that kind of lawyer. Not a lawyer who would go trying to divert the course of justice. Now, the lawyer is supposed to work according to the mechanism of justice. You go to court because you want to seek justice. Yet you arrive at the court knowing that this is a hardened criminal he has confessed to you, yet you go to the courthouse, and then you are seeking to divert the course of justice by saying that your client is not culpable, yet you know that your client is the grandfather of Satan. My brother, my sister, I have a problem with that. Now let me come to what Honorable Kwesi Pratt has said. You see, apart from Mr. Pratt saying that, oh, you see, every criminal or criminals even have the right to a lawyer, which is very correct. I want to look at this kind of lawyer and I want to talk to your conscience. How do you feel when somebody raped and murdered and you went to court, succeeded in diverting the course of justice and freeing this hardened criminal? Do you see yourself as professional? Or do you see yourself as smart? Do you call yourself a smart lawyer? Now, it looks like in our country and some other parts of the world, our lawyers are seeking smartness rather than justice. So-called smartness, which I don't call smartness. You know how I call that? You know how I call that? My brother, my sister, this is slyness. Slyness. It is not smartness. My brother, my sister, if this criminal had raped your daughter, had raped your wife, and murdered them, or if this criminal had committed arson on your property, I believe that any lawyer who would go defending this person, you become an enemy to that lawyer, knowing very well that the lawyer knows the truth, yet he went to divert the course of justice. This legal profession, we need to look at it again. Now, these dirty people will tell you that, oh, it's not all about morality. It is all about smartness, right? You know that this is a dirty thief. Yet you go to the court, instead of telling the court to give him the minimum and begging the court to do that, you rather are seeking to say that, no, the person did not do it when you knew the person did it. I have a big problem with that. I have a big problem with that. I don't know if you have a problem with that too, but your opinion, in fact, is your opinion, just as mine is mine. Now, to Kwesi Pratt's issue, with all respect, listen, man. Where there is a problem in this issue is that Gabi is not an ordinary lawyer. He is a lawyer whose loins are tied to the loins of the president. This is an influential person. He is a person of interest. This is a dirty president who is saying that he's trying to fight Galamsey. Yet his hands are so dirty, his mind is so dirty. My brother, my sister, he's doing nothing to fight Galamsey. He's only sitting down there and pretending. Until this report came, we didn't know that there was even a Galamseya who was an organizing secretary, or whatever they call that, of the NPP right there in Chebi, doing Galamsey right in front of the compound of the president. Yet, they turn deaf ears to this. Are these human beings? Or there are some other entities in the jungle? Hey, listen, let us speak truth to power. Let us speak truth to power. Gabi is not an ordinary lawyer. He is a lawyer with deep-throated connections to the president. He is a man who has unbridled access to the president. Unbridled access to the president. Yes, unbridled access to the president. So if he calls a man like Professor Boateng, you know how much power he carries. He is not like Lawyer Thaddeus Sori, who has no links to the president or the presidency. He's not like Lawyer Sosu. Neither is he like Lawyer Abraham or Lawyer Kwatin, sitting in somewhere and doing nothing but his legal profession. Let's think about that. I see everything wrong with Gabi calling this man to tell him, hey, this is my client. I am a lawyer. So what? So what? If you want information, you know how to get the information. Why didn't you let your junior lawyer call? You said you were not the one handling it. It was your legal firm that was handling it. Your junior lawyer was the one doing it. So why did you pick the phone to call on behalf of this client who was being handled by a junior lawyer? Because the junior lawyer has no unfettered access to the president. You have the power. Please let us speak truth to power. I see everything wrong with what this guy did. And for me, these are the guys who are fueling all sorts of corruption right there in government. And I don't support them.
Waleta matam sanga
Okay, so this one is coming from Graphic Online, and it says, Upon Nkrumah denies orchestrating plan to destroy Professor Frimpong Boateng. And I read, Professor Frimpong Boateng had said that Upon Nkrumah gathered some journalists at a hotel in Dodowa called Forest Hotel and was orchestrating a coup d'etat against him, which he succeeded anyway, according to him. Now, the Minister of Information, Kojo Upon Nkrumah, has denied allegations made in a 37-page report on illegal mining, which accused him of being behind a plan to destroy former Minister of Science, Environment, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng. Now, the report written by Professor Frimpong Boateng claims that Mr. Upon Nkrumah organized a secret meeting of journalists from both the NPP and NDC on 8 February 2020 in Dodowa to discuss a strategy to bring him down, which led to subsequent negative media reports about him. Now, however, Mr. Upon Nkrumah has described the claims as completely false, stating that he only attended a PRIMPAG, that's a Private Newspaper Publishers Association of Ghana event, jointly organized with the Bank of Ghana on financial reporting, and never held any meeting to oust anybody from government. Now, on the 8th day of February 2020, I was invited to, he says, on the 9th day of February 2020, I was invited to Dodowa as a guest of honor to a PRIMPAG that's a Private Newspaper Publishers Association of Ghana event, jointly organized with the Bank of Ghana on financial reporting. The event was not a secret. It was widely promoted on media platforms and my personal social media handles as well. It was a workshop to train journalists on how to understand and deepen their reportage on financial matters in Ghana. The event had nothing to do with the fight against Galamsey, not even remotely, Mr. Upon Nkrumah said in a statement. And, well, there's some other thing he said here, which I would like to read. He said, how the former minister morphs this event into a secret strategy conclave with his downfall as the objective is completely beyond my imagination. The participants from the Bank of Ghana and Prince Pag will be shocked and saddened to read this claim of such an otherwise highly held man. Highly held man. At the end of it all, he says the information minister expressed disappointment at the false claims made by Professor Frimpong Boateng, whom he had previously held in high esteem, but forgave him. All right. Well, it looks like we are talking about two different meetings. The professor said on the 8th of February 2029, Upon Nkrumah is talking about the 9th of February. So these are two different dates. One came before the other. Unless one of them is making a mistake. We cannot be fooled by two different dates. Is it not possible that the minister arrived there a day before and checked into the hotel and decided to meet some of these journalists who were supposed probably to have arrived a day before, and then he held this secret meeting with these journalists? Is it not possible? My brother, my sister, we live in a certain mafia environment where people can orchestrate anything to get their enemies out of their way, or their perceived enemies out of the way. My brother, my sister, I do not trust these politicians. What Professor Frimpong Boateng is talking about, my brother, my sister, we need to go deeper into this. I do not trust Upon Nkrumah. I do not trust him, my brother, my sister. A man who can come and tell us that 88 hospitals had now become 111 hospitals, and he doesn't even have the courtesy to come back and tell us that, hey, listen, man, you know what? I was misled into coming to tell you that 111 hospitals will be built. Now you were the one who came to tell us that we should be optimistic and that nobody should be pessimistic about the 88 hospitals all of a sudden becoming 111 hospitals, and that the president and your party was going to be able to do that. You have not been able to come and apologize to us. The same things that we all used to fight against. Today you are defending some of these things. I cannot trust a man like that. So I'm going to be on the side of the professor. At least remotely I will be on the side of the professor. Now the professor has also responded I'm not too sure if this is credible, but I'm reading this from yen.com, and it says Frimpong Boateng responds. That's Frimpong Boateng's response to Opon Nkrumah, and it says, "Dear Mr. Opon Nkrumah, I have read your response to what I wrote about you in the report I sent to the Chief of Staff a little over 2 years ago. You have denied what I wrote, and this is normal. Very few people in your position will own up to their wrongdoings. I have a good advice for you. Though, yes, I have good advice for you, though. When I was part of the government, we were colleagues, and I related to you as such. Now, I will advise you as my son, just as I do my children. After all, you are the same age as my fourth-born son. When I returned to Ghana from Germany to start the cardiothoracic project, you were just 6 years old, as my fourth child. I will not lie to you or insult you or be harsh on you. My advice is, always remember that political power is both short-lived and effervescent. In about 2 years' time, you may no longer be in government, and you may experience the real world as former high-profile political power holders do. I will urge you to do your work diligently and avoid the coded and evil tactics Mr. Paul Adum Ochri boastfully and unashamedly told the world on Good Evening Ghana that you employ to deal with your real and perceived enemies. Let me touch briefly on illegal mining last week. Someone from your constituency sent me a video recording of illegal mining activities close to your hometown. I don't want to believe that what the person said about you, about your role, is true. The important thing is that Chinese and their Ghanaian collaborators are engaged in illegal mining at your doorstep. I encourage you to investigate it and take appropriate action. The President of the Republic assures Ghanaians again and again that he's serious with the fight against illegal mining. Well, I leave it here. This is what the good old professor has written. In fact, allegedly, and there's only one site that has published this, and that is yen.com. Maybe because today is a holiday, a lot of people are sleeping. In the past, Yen has published false news, you know. But this is what it is. I do not know what exactly it is. But I cannot really trust Yen, because with Yen, some time ago, it was all about false news and all that. But this is what it is. If this is true, hear me now. The professor would have said nothing but the truth. He has nothing to lose or to gain by advising his fourth son. My brother, my sister, in these times, people forget that power is transient. Just as Muhammad said a couple of days ago, when you are in power, you are beaten by the power bug. And he gives you the disease known as what? Power myelitis. Yes, when you are in power, you believe you'll be in power forever. And the day of reckoning comes, and you realize that reality is staring you in your face, and you have to step out. Jesus have mercy. My brother, my sister, this is what is happening. And then when they realize that they are getting out of power, they will do everything impossible to stay back in power. That is the problem. My brother, my sister, this is what the good old professor is saying. What do you think about it? Did the professor write this? And if he actually wrote this, well, it is food for thought. Now, next thing I would like to look at, my brother, my sister. Oh my God. Professor Frimpong Boateng is speaking again, and this one I'm reading from Ghana Web, and he says, I don't think you have retrograde amnesia. The professor is going back to his medicine, and I like that. Yes, when literary people speak, they speak with a lot of solid vocabulary. When doctors speak, they do not engage in semantics and literary power and prowess. They engage in stethoscopes and injections. I don't think you have retrograde amnesia. Gosh. And this is Frimpong Boateng dragging Gabi Ochridakon down. Okay. I was going to look at this, but it looks like my winner has come.